Hi, everyone. This is Melissa with Sagebrush Wellness, and I'm so excited to share this information with you today. Thank you for joining me. Let's dive right in. We're going to be talking about a surprising cause for symptoms that just won't go away, right? So many of us have been working on our wellness and working on becoming as optimal as possible. And we've done all the things, right? But we just are not able to reach or the level of wellness that we're looking for, or we're not able to solve specific symptoms, even though we've done everything possible, right? So we're going to be talking about myths and truths about what is causing continued symptoms in our bodies. This is something that is not addressed by most, even functional medicine or integrative or holistic practitioners, because this piece is not something that is widely taught in institutions that we may be learning from. So, one of the things that drove me, quite frankly, to learn more about this aspect of parasites or creepy crawlies, whatever you want to call them, is that I work with the autoimmune and chronic illness community, and we came up against this quite often. We would be able to bring the body to a very good place, but not be able to get to 100%. And so, me being who I am, starting asking questions and really wanting to understand, okay, what am I missing? And this is one of the big pieces that I found to be at the bottom of why we can't seem to solve some of the symptoms that just, we do everything, but we just can't get these symptoms to resolve. So, this is what we're going to be talking about today. Quite frankly, the new epidemic of parasites. We're going to be talking about symptoms. Symptoms are quite simply messages from our bodies telling us what is happening inside, and we need to listen, right? So, then we'll be covering common families of parasites, where they like to live, what tissues and organs they like to affect. And then I'll be talking through two case studies so you can see what this actually looks like in clinical work. Let me share our team with you. So I'm Melissa, I'm the gal in the white, and these are the other gals on my team, Nicole and Heather and Janelle. We are a team of functional medicine and holistic practitioners who've been working in the field of autoimmune and chronic illness for over 7 years. We serve individuals from newborn to advanced age, and we treat each case as its own beautiful, individualized body, which is what we are, right? We can't just blanket address, any illness. So, for example, if someone comes to us who has rheumatoid arthritis, we will treat that person in a way that is singular to what their body needs. And it may be completely different than how we would address rheumatoid arthritis in another person who has a case that looks a lot like the first, because our bodies are so individual. So let's talk about this new epidemic, and it's not really new. We're just finally starting to realize it's happening, right? Parasites happen in developed countries, right? It's something that was assumed is that parasite infection only happens in third world countries or undeveloped countries. That is not true. So, an organism in its purest form is a parasite that lives on or in a host organism and gets its food from or at the expense of its host, right? So a parasite is something that lives on another host organism. Parasites could be the root cause of many of your chronic health issues. Autoimmune issues, food sensitivities, and gut problems may be traced back to parasites. I've seen this over and over again in my practice. So let's talk about how we get them, right? We can come into contaminated or infected blood transfusions, food, other people who are carrying parasites, pets and animals. A lot of times we think about the animals piece as being just like farm animals, but no, any animals. Soil, right? There's not much better than sinking your bare feet into lovely, warm soil or sand. But we can come in contact with parasites there. Surfaces that have been touched or sneezed on, or bodily juices from another person or animal or pet can be on the surface and have little bits of parasites that can be picked up by us. Toilets, especially in public restrooms, and water. Waterborne parasites are quite common. So let's talk about what it feels like. What do we look for, right? To be able to say, I wonder if I have parasites. So here is a good list. This is not complete. These are some of the most common ones, however, that I see. So skin rashes, hives, eczema, right? So many times we think that it's skin deep, or we address these with steroids or skin creams, and we're like, why does this not go away? There are other driving factors inside the body. Alternating constipation and diarrhea. This is so common for people who have stomach issues, right? Stomach ulcers, abdominal pain and cramping. So, this is something that I see often for people who have worked so hard to use holistic options for treating things like IBS and Crohn's and colitis and SIBO, and it just isn't completely resolved. We need to look deeper. Mood disorder, depression, anxiety, or suicidal thoughts. This is not even, as far as I know, this isn't understood yet in the mental health world. There are some um, professionals who are opening their minds to the possibilities of parasites being a part of this for their clients. And it is those that have done so and are using addressing parasites in their protocols are seeing good results with their clients. Dark circles under the eyes, allergies and or food sensitivities, especially food sensitivities that are not being able to be solved, or say we find out what those are, we take those foods out, we take them out for a very long time, and then we just get more food sensitivities, right? It's not solving the problem, and often it's because we have a parasite infection in the digestive tract. Night sweats, this is a big one, especially for those who have a hormone imbalance. Hormone fluctuation can intensify activity in a parasite infection. Colds, flus, colds, sore throats. This can be a very sure sign that we've got some parasites. Loss of appetite or hungry all the time. This is a big one. We need to look at not just parasites throughout the body, but we need to look more specifically for this one in the digestive tract. Strong sugar and processed food cravings. These things can be easily broken down, and you have to understand that these organisms are drawing from your food, right? They are eating what you eat. And sugar and processed food is so easy to break down. It's a quick fix, it's a quick energy, and they like that. Eye floaters or blurry, unclear vision. I see this a lot with people who have things like multiple sclerosis or lupus. We need to look deeper if they are experiencing eye floaters or blurry, unclear vision. Menstrual problems. Ladies, we need to be thinking about this, especially when there are things like we have cysts or we have PCOS, um, endometriosis. We need to be thinking about, is there a possibility of a parasitic side to this? Lethargy, apathy, headaches, migraines, numbness in the extremities. Once again, we see this a lot when we're working with folks who have things like um, neuropathy in the body caused from, or it's assumed, excuse me, it's caused by MS or something similar. Nodules or cysts, and cancer. Guys, we need to be aware of this. So, the myth. Parasites aren't a problem in developed countries. For example, it's estimated that more than 12% of Americans carry toxoplasma, a microscopic parasite people get from their cats, right? We love our cats. I do too. But you know what? Sometimes they can share things that we really don't want them to. So let's talk about testing. One of the problems that we have right now, and hopefully this is going to change, but right now we do not have a very good testing method for finding out if we have parasites. Often we have to just go by the symptoms and use broad spectrum herbals and let the body cleanse. But the best we have right now are some stool tests and very specific blood work. So here are some of the things that we look for in blood work. Increased levels of eosinophils. These are not always reliable. There can be other things that can increase levels of eosinophils, but this is a clue. Chronic anemia and low iron. This is a huge clue. Low alkaline phosphatase and or low GGT, which equals chronically low zinc. Even if you're taking zinc, and sometimes a lot, and we do blood work and you still have low zinc. Okay. IgE, food and environmental allergies and sensitivities. I need to amend this to also say IgG, food and environmental allergies and sensitivities. High histamine or mast cell activation. When this is chronic, we need to be looking at, is there a parasite piece to this? Low vitamin C. So I've got lots of people who are working on detoxifying, right? And having vitamin C going in, sometimes in large amounts, can be really helpful. But then we do blood work and it's not sticking in the body. So we need to think about why. What is happening? Okay. So let's look at the most common types of parasite parasites that are found in the body. So strongyloids, these guys like to hang out in the stomach, the kidneys, the lymph system, lungs, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and small intestine. And I know you're thinking, oh my goodness, I didn't think that they could go anywhere in the body. Guess what? They get to travel in the bloodstream just like your nutrients. Cestoids, these guys are attracted to tissues in the large intestine and the brain. Sporozoa, these guys like to migrate to the stomach, kidneys, lymph, brain, joints. Think about joint pain and small intestine. All right, roundworms. These guys are the most common, or at least in my work so far. They can be found in the gallbladder, liver, lungs, brain, large intestine, and bladder. Protozoa, these guys are pretty common as well. These prefer the bladder, the joints, large intestine, stomach, lymph, brain, lungs, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and small intestine. So when we think about everything that happens in all of these tissues and the symptoms that we're experiencing there, this can help us think about, are parasites an issue for me? I've included a link on the slides for a simple questionnaire that I put together for you. Do I have parasites? And the link is live to be able to access that for anyone that would like to. Just gives you a good idea of what symptoms you're experiencing that could be pointing towards a parasite issue for you. So let's talk about parasites and how they harbor root causes. So parasites act as a holding place or a safe environment for bacteria, other parasites, toxins, and yeast within the human body. So a lot of functional medicine and integrative practitioners, we are taught and know that these are often the root causes of autoimmune, neurological, and mental illness. We know this, and we test for it. We have good ways to test for bacteria and toxins and yeast and mold and all the things, right? But we have to understand that when we are addressing these things and we don't address parasites, are we actually going to be able to clearly clean the body or help the body clean and clear from these toxins and other things if the parasite piece is not addressed. Something to think about. Okay, let's talk quickly about two case studies, and I want you to understand the power in what addressing parasites can do for people. So both of these gals have multiple sclerosis. Pat, the first gal, has had MS for over 30 years. She is regaining feeling in her hands that she hasn't had for most of those 30 years. Her feeling is returning to her feet. She hasn't been able to feel any sensation in her feet for quite some time. That's coming back. Her eyesight is improving. She had so many floaters and blurriness, and she had been, to the eye doctor for lots of different changes in her prescription glasses and all of that, and her eyesight is slowly beginning to improve for her. She finally, after years and years and years of supplements and all different things, she's having normal bowel movements without supplements. That's like huge for her. Her spasms have gone down a lot. Depression has lifted, and this is a big, big thing, especially when you're wanting to get better. If depression has a hold on you, it's awfully hard to think about how to be motivated to help yourself, right? Muscle tone is returning to her legs and arms and her midsection, her uh, core. She's actually working on specific exercises to be able to walk again. That is her biggest goal. Let's talk about Mandy quickly. She's had MS for over 6 years. She's been in a wheelchair for two. We're really working on parasites for her, and her strength is starting to come back into her body. Spasms are much less. Her ankles were really, really weak and weren't able to support the weight of her body. That is getting much better. Her bowel movements are finally regulating. Depression is lifting. The brain fog, in other words, not being able to think clearly and not being able to make decisions and stuff like that, that was so hard for her. Memory, that brain fog is starting to lift. Actually, it's gone. Her energy is returning, actually having the motivation to be able to do something, right? And she too is working with a physical therapist to strengthen her muscles to begin to walk. So, just a very quick run through of what addressing parasites can do for us. I could add a lot of different other case studies here, um, especially around people who are dealing with things like acid reflux that just couldn't be solved. We had to dive into the parasite piece that is finally solved, forever and ever amen, for a gal that's been working with me for quite some time. Um, Another gal that is, oh my goodness, I could go so many, tell you so many stories, but another gal that has been working so hard to lose weight. We've finally uncovered that a very real, kind of heavy parasite infection or infestation was what was holding her back. And now that we're moving that, she is feeling so much better and she's not dieting. Her body is actually ready to let go of weight now because it's not fighting the parasites. So I just want to encourage you to take a good look at what's happening for you and really um, think about the symptoms. I encourage you to do the the parasite questionnaire. That's going to be helpful to you. But really think about this piece for yourself and think about what you want to achieve, the wellness that you want to achieve for your body. And then don't be afraid to be honest and look at the piece of, hmm, do I need to think about parasites for me? So I've included a ton of research here. I actually kind of stopped filling this out when I got to 70 or 69. I was like, wow, if everybody goes through all of these, they're going to be exhausted. But I wanted to put all my research in here, or most of it in here, especially for those of you who are practitioners in this area. If you are working in the areas of functional medicine or integrative care, or in the mental health field, I really want you to have all the research that I can provide for you to make some decisions for yourself. And for you guys that are looking at symptoms that you've had trouble solving, you're like, I've done all the things, man. I don't know what to do now. I want you to use this research as something to help educate your own self. I am also including um, an invitation for you to have a free discovery call with me. I would prefer that you would fill out the symptoms, the parasite questionnaire first before we get on the phone together. It's going to help me help you better. The link for that discovery call will be included at the end of the questionnaire, so please take advantage of that. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for letting me chat with you about this creepy crawly uh, topic, but I hope it has helped you and opened your mind to other things that could possibly be contributing to symptoms that you just can't seem to solve. Have an amazing rest of your day. Take care. Bye.